Hey, what's up guys? My name's Jared. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be another quick update video where I fill you in on the progress that I've made recently. So if you watched my last update video, you would have seen it was mostly focused on the troubles I'm having getting the engine back together for the Honda, the S600. I have gone through several ways to try to get this crank into the engine. It's very difficult. Anyways, I broke piston rings. I had an extra set. I broke more than I had. I have been able to get one last set. Now these pistons and the rings that I'm using are new old stock, original Honda parts. And the guy that sold them to me only has one set left. So I have my absolute last chance to get this together when I get those rings. But that's going to probably take about 2 weeks for them to get here. They're being shipped from Germany. So fingers crossed this next time I try to assemble this, it will work out, because there's probably no way to find any more of those rings. I mean, this guy's the main supplier that everyone has recommended, and I'm getting the very last set that he has for those pistons. So hopefully that works out. The other new news for the Honda is the steering wheel. You can see that the wheel's in very bad shape. I've discussed this a little bit in some previous videos, but what I'm attempting to do, my first attempt is, I'm just going to, you can see this is the size of the steering wheel. I've used a router to cut this out. I didn't have the right bits for it, so I had to order some more. They're supposed to be here in a few days, but then you can see this little piece that I added here. But basically, I'm going to cut the outer diameter and the inner diameter out, and then I'm just going to router over the edges, and I'm going to try to make a piece that I can glue onto just the front. And then the back, you can see the whole steering wheel originally was just little strips of wood that they steam them and then they bend them and shape them. That's the way it was done back in the 60s. They don't usually do that with wood steering wheels anymore, but I will try to fix the back in the same way. I'm going to try to cut some little strips and put them in and fix it. So that'll be my first attempt. If that doesn't work, then maybe I'll strip the wood off the back, and I'll try to bend new pieces to shape the whole thing. But it's going to be very, very difficult to do. And if I remake the back, it's not going to have these little ripples in there that it has from the factory. So I'd like to keep that if possible. Anyways, so basically, I've been working on the steering wheel. Once I get that done, I'll be uploading that video. The other progress that I've made here on the Honda is that I've painted the frame. I'm not pulling the body off of the frame on this car, but I am painting as much of the frame as I can get to. And then what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to pull the rear end. You can see this car has a very unusual rear end. It has these two drivetrains on each side. So I'm going to pull this whole system out and clean it up, and you can see it's obviously leaking there at some of the joints. So that's going to be the next step, is to pull that out, get it cleaned up. I'm sure I'll have to order parts for it. But just kind of start going through the rear end. I also still need to pull the fuel tank out, which is right under here, and then clean that out and clean all the fuel system. And I also still need to go through the brakes. So I have a lot of stuff left to do on this. I haven't discussed this top yet. I did mention in the past that I might make one, but I was able to find this one online, so I ordered it. And it came out fine. I mean, it looks fine. I also ordered the fiberglass piece that goes here, like the wind deflector, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to use it because I'm so tall. When I get in and out of the car, I generally hold on to this section, and I don't think that thing would be very sturdy, that wind deflector. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll use it, maybe not. But so that's it for the Honda. I have made a lot of good progress on the Land Cruiser recently. You would have seen in just the past few videos, I put the engine back in, replaced the rear main seal, replaced the clutch throw-up bearing and clutch plate, new slave cylinder for the clutch, And then I painted the engine and got it pretty much all assembled. I'm getting ready to start putting on the fuel injection, which you can see I've got a few of the sensors here. There's no O2 sensor in this dongle, so this I'm going to have to weld into here so that I can put the O2 sensor in it. And then this is the water temperature sensor. Maybe you guys can help me out. I appear to have two water temperature sensor points. I think they were both hooked up when I got the Land Cruiser. Of course, it didn't run, and I don't know what changes have been made. But this one, from what I can tell, is the one that will run the temperature gauge on the dash. And this one seems to only be on F2 engines, supposedly. But this is an F1 engine. So my plan is to put the water sending unit here, the temperature sensor here, for the fuel injection. And then I guess that's going to be okay. You guys can maybe help me out. If not, then I'll do some research and figure it out. The other issue that came up, I finally got belts that fit. The alternator belt and the air conditioner belt. It took a few tries because I had to figure out how to measure them and then decipher the code on the belt to get the right sizes. But I got the two correct belts and they fit. But the problem I've noticed now, this second pulley, when I installed this, it didn't really occur to me. It's bigger than the smaller, the pulley behind it. And I didn't really think anything of it. I thought, well, you know, whatever, it'll be fine. But now that I've installed them, I'm pretty sure that's going to be an issue, because the larger pulley should make this belt spin at a slightly faster rate, which would be fine if it was only connected to the air conditioner, but it also goes over the water pump. So this pump is going to be this belt is going to be moving faster than this belt, and they're both going over the same pulley, which means it's going to make one of them slip, most likely that one. And then that's going to burn up the belt, and then that's going to cause problems. So I think I'm going to have to either find this, I think it's called a harmonic balance pulley. I'm going to either have to find one of these that has the double pulley from the factory, or I'm going to have to talk to Vintage Air and see if maybe they have a smaller second pulley that can be added on. These things seem to be really expensive. I've seen a few on eBay for like $200 or $300, the double ones. So this was much cheaper, this add-on pulley, and I liked it because I knew that it was designed to go with this pulley and that everything would line up. So we'll see what happens on that, but that's kind of what I've got going on there. You can see I brought the original exhaust back in. I've got to clean it up. This exhaust used to attach in this general area, so it's plenty long. I'm just gonna have to cut it down, and then there's a piece that bolts onto here that I can weld right to this and get that on. I'm getting pretty close to being able to try to start it. I did get some oil and a new filter and stuff like that for it. And like I said, the fuel injection, I've got most of the stuff figured out how I'm going to put it on. But I'm probably going to step back from the engine for a minute. And then on the next video, I'll finish up these hubs and brakes, because I want to be able to put the wheels on it. And then I'll get back into that fuel injection, and hopefully I'll be doing a video soon, hopefully within the next week or two, with it actually running. That would be great. After that, I'll move on to the transmission and putting the driveline back in it, getting it all cleaned up and putting it back in, and then that'll be pretty much on to the body, which is going to be just a huge amount of work. But okay, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. As always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the comments. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing it. And I'll see you next time. Okay.